You've had a thought that scared you. Maybe it was a flash of something bad happening to your baby. Maybe it was an image you couldn't explain, something dark, something frightening, something you would never ever want. And the second it appeared, you felt sick. You didn't tell anyone. Because how do you say that out loud? How do you admit that the thought even existed? So you carried it alone and you started to wonder, what kind of mom has a thought like that? I need you to hear this before we go any further. Having that thought does not make you dangerous. It does not make you a bad mom, and you are not alone. There is a name for what's happening, and understanding it changes everything. Hi, I'm Dr. Sheila. I'm a licensed clinical social worker with a doctorate in psychology, and I'm also a mom. This channel is for moms over 30 who want real answers in plain English. Today, we're talking about intrusive thoughts after having a baby, what they are, why they happen, and why they're so much more common than anyone admits, and how to know when it's time to get real support. I want to be especially careful in this video. This is educational, not a diagnosis, and not a replacement for care. If anything here feels urgent for you right now, please reach out to a doctor or a mental health professional today. You deserve real support, not just a video. So let's start with what intrusive thoughts actually are. An intrusive thought is an unwanted thought, image, or urge that pops into your mind without warning. Everyone has them. Research shows that the vast majority of people, moms, dads, people without kids, experience intrusive thoughts at some point. The thoughts themselves are not the problem. The problem is what happens next. The shame, the fear, the belief that having the thought means something about who you are. It doesn't. In the postpartum period, intrusive thoughts are especially common. Studies suggest that up to 70 to 100% of new parents experience them in some form, but almost no one talks about it. So every mom who has one thinks that she's the only one, and then she carries it alone. Here's what postpartum intrusive thoughts can look like. A sudden image of your baby being dropped, a flash of something bad happening while you're driving, a thought about accidentally harming your baby that horrifies you the moment that it appears. That horror is important. The fact that the thought disturbs you, the fact that you would never want that, is actually evidence that you are not dangerous. Intrusive thoughts are ego dystonic. That's the clinical term that means they go against your values. They feel wrong because they're wrong to you. Is fundamentally different from someone who wants to cause harm. The thought appearing does not mean you want it. It means that your brain is on high alert, doing its job, scanning for danger, in overdrive, in the postpartum period. Because keeping the baby alive feels like everything. I want to pause here for a moment. If you have been carrying one of these thoughts alone, I want you to know that it's okay to say so. You can drop a comment below if you'd like. Even just writing, "I needed to hear this," is enough. I read every comment on this channel, and I know how much it can mean to feel less alone in something this heavy. Let's talk about when intrusive thoughts cross a line and what to do when they do. Most postpartum intrusive thoughts, while distressing, they don't require clinical treatment on their own, but there are signs that it's time to reach out for support. 1, the thoughts are happening constantly and you can't function because of them. 2, you're avoiding things because of the fear. Avoiding holding the baby, bathing the baby, or being alone with the baby. 3, you're spending a lot of mental energy trying to neutralize or cancel out the thought. Checking, reassurance seeking, rituals. This can be a sign of postpartum OCD, which is treatable. 4, the thoughts have shifted. Instead of distressing, unwanted images, you're having thoughts that feel intentional, and you're thinking about acting on them. If this is you, please reach out to a professional today. This is urgent, and help is available. If any of those signs sound familiar, please talk to your doctor or a mental health professional who specializes in postpartum care. Ask specifically about postpartum OCD and postpartum anxiety. Both are real and both are treatable, and both respond very well to the right support. Here is the most important thing I want you to leave with today. The thought is not the danger, the silence is. When moms carry these thoughts alone, in shame, in secret, they suffer longer and get help later. Telling a safe person, a doctor, a therapist, a partner, does not make things worse. It's almost always the beginning of things getting better. You're not a monster for having thoughts you didn't choose. You're a mom whose brain is working very hard to protect someone she loves, and you deserve support for that. If this video helped you feel less alone, then please share it. There's a mom right now in the middle of the night, terrified of her own thoughts, thinking that she's the only one. She is not. I'm Dr. Sheila. This is the Mom Brain, and I'll see you in my next video.